Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. That is not my real name. That's just the name I use when I go to Starbucks and they ask for one. I'm just kidding. The name I give at Starbucks is alcoholic. No, I'm just kidding. I don't even go to Starbucks. But anyway, Nelson is my pen name that I use here at LOL. Sober, I am an alcoholic and an addict. Yeah, that is true. I stumbled upon a statistic the other day that I found really interesting. Really got me thinking. It turns out a human being breathes in and out about 22,000 times per day. 22,000 times per day. That's 916 breaths per hour, and it's about 16 breaths per minute, which is about one breath for every 4 seconds or so. That sounds about right to me, but I am fascinated by the relationship between the act of physically breathing and then my spiritual state. I used to think that those two things were completely unrelated, that my body works over here and my spirituality, it's a brain thing and it happens in a different space. And I actually don't think that anymore. I think they're quite connected. You know, when I'm aggravated or I'm fearful, my breathing speeds up in reaction. And when my breathing speeds up, whether I realize it or not, I am a little bit off. I am a little more likely to say or do something based on my mood, not how I actually wish I had behaved. So I feel like there is, for me, it's just like there's no question. There's a direct relationship between my breathing and my behavior. The two things, they work together, good or bad. And I noticed this recently with my oldest daughter who is learning to drive. She likes to drive in silence so that she can really, really, really concentrate. She's just learning. She's doing great, but sometimes I can hear her breathing speed up when she gets near a tricky intersection. It's just eerily silent in the car, and then I hear her breaths just speed up a lot quicker, quick, 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 quick breaths. And we got on the highway once, only once so far. We went for one exit. It was about a mile or two. And during that stretch of road, it it sounded like Darth Vader was in the car. It was like it was just very intense. I could hear it, and I get it. You know, I get it. Since I read that thing about 22,000 breaths per day for a normal person, I've noticed my own breathing. I've noticed that my body tends to match my brain in tense moments. I was on an airplane the other day landing in Chicago during a thunderstorm, and oh my God, the Windy City lived up to its name. It was pretty worrisome as we bounced around. I found myself gripping the armrest like I was attempting a submission hold in a UFC fight or something. And I noticed my breathing was fast and short, and my heart rate was very high. And I'm just like squeezing the life out of this armrest. But I noticed it in the moment, and so I decided what will happen right now if I slow my breathing down. And so I tried breathing as slowly as possible, and I bet instead of the normal 16 breaths per minute that most people do, I bet during that time on that airplane, I bet I breathed about 5 times per minute. So about one third the pace of a normal minute. And you know what? My heart rate, it seemed to slow down. My brain seemed to slow down. And I found myself, I stopped choking out my armrests on the plane. Um, this probably doesn't come to breaking news to most people. You know, breathing, of course, is a huge part of meditation, and I meditate every day for 20 minutes. And, you know, maybe that's shocker. Maybe that's why meditation seems to help me and why it also helps so many other alcoholics and addicts and people who aren't alcoholics and addicts. It helps lots of people. Who knew? Shocker, right? But so I have an action plan going forward. I'm gonna try to trim off about 500 breaths a day, and I'm going to pay particular attention to slowing down my lungs during potentially tense moments, work meetings, arguments with kids, whatever. I have 3 kids, including 2 teenagers that I love very much, but there are plenty of times every day where there is some butting of heads that happens around me or involves me, and those times will be great practice for my breathing plan. So, by my math, I think I breathe about 5 times per minute when I'm meditating, maybe four or 5 times. That's 11 fewer per minute than a normal breathing minute. If you recall, a normal person is 16 breaths per minute, and when I slow down purposely, that puts me at about 4 or 5. So plot that out. 20 minutes of meditation times 11 fewer breaths. I'm probably already breathing about 220 fewer breaths than a normal person, and that means I need to find about 25 other minutes where I am cognizant of my breathing and I try to go down to about one breath every 12 seconds or so. If I do that, boom, I'm right around 500 fewer breaths. And I think to do this, I'm going to need to find some ritualistic spots to do it. Perhaps it's something like every time I walk into the bathroom, I remember to purposely slow down my breaths while I'm in there. Um, or maybe it's every time I open the refrigerator, I take 2 or 3 long, slow breaths rather than panting as I get ready to crush some snack I probably don't even need to be eating. All right, so I got a little lost in the weeds of statistically figuring out something my body breathes without me prompting it, all day, every day. And so I guess the broader point is, if you fast forward through all of the other mumbo jumbo, I guess the broader point is that slowing down my breathing will help slow me down, which will slow down all of the bad thoughts, the bad ideas of things to say, the bad things to do, bad actions. Will it cause a big change? I don't know. But I guess anytime I can have a little less Darth Vader in my life, that's probably a good thing. Thank you for letting me share.